Oh hey, it's Wes, and today I want to talk to you about this. This is the Nanlite Pavotube 30C. Shiny. So let's get into it. What are we looking at here? This is a color controllable, white balance controllable, battery powered, 4-foot long LED light bar. It's currently set to 5%. Gets a lot brighter than this. I don't want to completely throw off this whole video by doing that though. So let's start out with the categories, as always, with the build quality. This light, if you can't tell already, is pretty much entirely plastic. You've got probably some sort of plexiglass Lexan here, and some plastic on the ends here. Now plastic can be fine, but look how squishy this is. This is not that rigid, and the end caps, they have some give to them, to say the least. Up here you have what seems to be a weather-sealed switch for some reason, as this is in no way a waterproof device. And on the back here you've got some generic plastic knobs, button interface, and a pretty small LCD display right here. The light itself is surprisingly heavy, which is because there are 2 large lithium-ion batteries hidden on the inside. So overall, it's a little bit squeaky, a little bit squishy. I'm pretty sure I could drop this without anything breaking though, because it is kind of a squishy, bouncy design. I mean, I'm not going to take it to bed to cuddle it with at night, but I think it is decently well built. It just doesn't scream premium quality. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10 for build quality. Feature set. That's where there's a lot of stuff going on here. I've talked about LED lights in the past, and I will tell you right up front, it has all those program modes. I hate running through and testing them all into videos, but they're there, they work fine. You get the lightning and the cop cars and the fire/candlelight. Yeah, that's all there. For other features, you can get a remote control to control these, but it's not by default able to be controlled remotely. It doesn't have Bluetooth, doesn't have built-in Wi-Fi. You can buy a $300 Wi-Fi adapter for it. Whew, but that's kind of exorbitant. It can, however, be connected to other light systems of its likeness and be controlled all together in parallel with DMX control. But as you can see, it's not the standard 3-pin DMX. It's a little bit different. But honestly, probably the biggest feature of this is the form factor. It's both small but large. So this allows you to stick at places where you couldn't normally put a light, but it also gives you a wide enough spread that you can get flattering light if you want to. So it's a very convenient form factor, and there's no external battery pack, it's all internal. How much power do you get from those batteries? Well, in my experience, it tends to run down in about 50 minutes if you're running it at about 100%. Not too bad. It tends to vary a little bit though. Not exactly sure why. So overall, has a lot of features, not all the features. It's kind of what you expect. It's a 7 out of 10 for feature set. Usability. And that's where we're going to have some problems, unfortunately. If you look at this, you have a big old light, and a small little display screen here. This appears to be about the same screen that's on a lot of the very small LED panels that I've reviewed in the past that I use for a lot of stuff. And while that works for that form factor, because it's small, this one, you tend to be using it for bigger stuff, and once you're an arm's length away, it's really hard to read that screen, and the plexiglass on top of the screen is pretty highly reflective, so it's often really difficult to read. And then, on the end of this guy, we have 2 knobs, which allow you to navigate through altering the settings, or the settings themselves. Now, when you're in color temperature mode, this is fine. One controls the color temperature, one controls the brightness, and it gets very bright. Ooh, cool, warm. I also like that the knobs, when adjusting, they adjust things very quickly. I don't need gradations that tiny. You can get very small gradations on this if you can get 1% increments on the brightness. You just have to be careful. So I like that you can jump through it quick. But then, Once you move to the HSI or RGB mode, all of a sudden one dial scrolls through the options while the other alters them. This is a little bit annoying, but what's really annoying is that these dials have fixed stops. They're not infinity turn pots on this. There's actually a 0 to 100 on both of them. So if I say go to saturation and turn it to 16%, if I then go to the dimmer, all of a sudden that knob is still at 16%. I have to move that up. But if I go back to the let's say I go back to the color, it jumps again. It's really hard to make adjustments with this because for some reason that is well beyond me, they used fixed position knobs on this. So that's a little bit of a headache. My biggest gripe, however, has got to be battery management on this. If we go into the menu and scroll, I gotta use the right knob, to battery and press enter, yes, that is what you have to do to check the battery level on this. There is no external battery level. It tells you the charge of both internal cells. Why do you need both internal cells to tell you? I have no idea. This should not be visible to the end user in my opinion. It should just be a total or an average of both because they're used at the same time in parallel anyway. So there you have the battery charge level. So that's great, sure. But say you're using this, as soon as I go back to adjust my brightness, I can't see the charge level anymore. And if I'm not right on top of this, I've got to get back on top of it, go into the menu, check on the battery, and find that again. This is a huge pain in the butt when you're using this. If you've got this set up and you want to know how much time you've got left to use this, I've been using this for video recordings quite a bit as well.
There'll be another in the fire, standing next to me. There'll be another in the waters, holding back the seas.
To the book of John, chapter 8. This story is found in verses 1 to 11.
You gotta go over, navigate into the menu, and check your battery level. And this problem again comes up when you're charging these. If these aren't turned on, and you plug them in, there's no charge indicator, there's no battery level. You have to turn it on, and then turn the light down to 0 to be able to monitor in any way how fast or how much charge you have while you're charging these. So anyway, I'll stop harping on that for now. My last little nitpick, and this one's more of a nitpick, power switch is on the front at one end, and then the controls are on the back and the tip at the other end. Why? If you set this up in the air, so you want to light someone up, which end do you leave down so you can reach? Is it the power switch or the controls? I guess it's the controls, but if you want to shut it off in between things, you gotta bring this whole light back down again. Okay, we'll draw the line there on the usability. Aside from those things that have annoyed me like crazy, and I guess I'm a really finicky person, so take that with a grain of salt, these are actually really enjoyable to use. Just the simplicity of the light that comes out it, and the ease of which to maneuver these things and the ways that you can set it up. There are a variety of clips and holders, and it really leaves you with a ton of options for how to set these up. It doesn't all come with it though. You have to customize the package the way that you want it. But overall, the usability for me, it's a 4 out of 10. It's a bit of a fail there. Light quality. Want to talk about light quality? Let's go have a photo shoot and have some fun. So here we are downtown. Gonna test out these lights. Things are gonna get colorful. And here I'm joined with...
Izzy.
No.
The last name. It's Rayworth.
And where can people find you on the internet?
I'm Transylvanian on most social networks.
It's up there. Okay, let's get started. And I'll get you to back right into the corner and put your arms against the glass. Yeah. Change my white balance here, it's not popping enough for me. Just not taking pictures. But overall, the light quality is great. The colors on this just pop. I found with some light bars, some LED lights, when you get into the deep reds and the deep blues, they can be a little bit muted. This one, not muted at all. Now, with the 8-bit color on these videos, this is gonna look a little bit orange. IRL, in real life, looking at this, it is so red. So when you're shooting raw with a little bit more bit depth, as you can see in these pictures that we took, the red is amazing. And you know, I like me some good red. So the light quality, it's a 9 out of 10. It does it well. Value. A 2-pack of these is $740. That can sound expensive if you don't know what the competition costs. So just buying one of these is $400. In competition, let's see what we've got here. We've got the Quasar Science. A 4-pack is $2,400. That's $600 each. Asteria Titan Tube, an 8-pack, comes to $800 each. What you might think of first, the Westcott Ice Light. It's a little bit similar to this, but the light bar itself is way smaller. It's about half the size. Those are $380 each. This is way better than an ice light when it comes to creating light. It is brighter, it is longer. I would much rather have this. I don't need a cool little handle to keep me happy. Then there is the Godox Light Stick, the knockoff of the Ice Light, for $164 again. The light bar is less than half the size of this one. And the regular price on that is $190. Now, it goes on sale a lot though. So even compared to the cheap, value-priced alternative, the Godox Light Stick, when you buy the 2-pack, these are less than $400 each, at over twice the size of the Godox Light Stick. So honestly, it's about the same value as the Godox Light Stick. So although the 2-pack sounds kind of expensive, honestly myself, I would love to have a 4-pack, but I don't think I would go with less than 2 because then you can really have the fun with these things. And yes, I have griped, but I did have a lot of fun using these, and I'm going to keep using these a lot. So even compared to the Godox super cheap alternative, these are actually a really great value, and that explains a lot of the issues we had with this. They're going for a very competitive price point. That's why our screen is small. That's why some of the switches are a little bit generic. This is a great value. It's an 8 out of 10. If you're looking for a big, powerful light bar, this is pretty much the best choice you can get. I couldn't find a better option for this, if you're looking to get a good value. If you know of a better option, let me know down in the comments. If you want to pick up some of these, if you think this is the right thing for you, there are smaller sizes of this as well. I have links down in the description. If you buy something through those links, it helps support my channel and feed my family. So if you have any questions about this, let me know. I'll get back to you real fast. We've got a total of 35 out of 50. Just arbitrary numbers. But anyway, until next time, whew, go take some really colorful photos. Oh, and one more thing. You better believe there's a Star Wars photo shoot coming up in this thing's future. Are we socially distant enough? If you buy something through those links, so close. If you buy something through those links, it helps support my channel and feed my family.